Hi, thanks for being in a new video. I got my hands on the Motorola Moto G84 5G, and I'm going to tell you what I liked most and least about it in case you're considering buying it. So, as always, let me tell you, don't buy the Moto G84 5G without watching this video. Let's consider a launch price that in Mexico is 5,999 pesos. For all my content, I base my content on the Mexico price. So please first check what price it is in your country. If it is much more expensive, obviously many of the points I liked could go down, or if it is cheaper, maybe even some of the points I didn't like could be forgiven. Remember that the full review is available in case you want to know it in much more depth and see absolutely everything about it. This will simply be a summary of the positives and negatives about it. Let's start with what I liked the most. The back cover features a synthetic leather finish that feels great to the touch. This is a differential point because currently in the mid-range the designs are always usually a simple plastic, but in this case they take a step forward and offer us a design that comes very well. Although if you are going to put a case on it, this is going to go unnoticed for you anyway. So if you use a case, this point please ignore it. It is also very thin, at 7.6 millimeters thick and very light, weighing in at 168 grams. This obviously gives it a point in its favor also when using it, and in this case, if you're going to put a case on it, it's obviously going to be a little thicker and heavier, but it's still lighter than other devices with cases. So you have to consider that element as a relevant point. In addition, you have the option of a vivid magenta Pantone color. This is a little something that designers or people in the fashion world might like. The truth is that it looks great. The screen is POLED with 120 Hz refresh rate. In this price range, it's a screen that definitely everywhere you look is very good. It offers very good color, it offers good contrast, good refresh rate. It's definitely a spectacular display. In addition, its peak brightness is 1300 nits. In the price range, you probably won't find any screen with this same quality. It has stereo sound with Dolby Atmos. Again, in the price range, this is unusual. Usually in this price range, devices come with only one speaker. But Motorola does offer us stereo sound and also through software Dolby Atmos options to customize our experience. For example, it has a 10-band equalizer without the need to connect headphones. If you want to connect headphones, you have a jack and you also have advanced codecs for high-quality Bluetooth audio. So, I think in the audio department, this device is very solid and very strong. The front camera takes good selfies at night because it merges the pixels. The ultra-wide camera has autofocus for macro capabilities without the need for junk cameras. Also, the 50-megapixel camera does get noticed in high-resolution mode. I mention this especially because there are other cell phones that also have 50-megapixel cameras or even more, but it doesn't always come across well when viewing the result of a photograph with that resolution. In this device, the cameras definitely perform considerably well. Obviously, they are not spectacular cameras, but in the price range, they do stand out above many of their competitors. The night vision mode is very good, so in the night photographs you're going to have some good results due to this fusion of pixels that makes with the 50 sensor transforming the photographs into 12 megapixels. I really like the camera experience a lot. Did I tell you it has no useless cameras? Well, I'll say it again, it doesn't have a macro camera, but it still takes good macro pictures with the ultra-wide. Also, it does keep objects in focus in portrait shots, confirming to us that it doesn't need a depth-first junk camera. So with 2 cameras, it really does what other devices supposedly do with up to 4 cameras. So it really is a device that doesn't waste resources. It's very well thought out. I really liked it. It even has dual recording mode even in full HD. Other much more expensive devices do not have this feature, and other devices in the same price range that could integrate it sometimes lower their resolution to HD. So another very positive point. And what about the gestures to turn on the flashlight or to open the camera? Those long-standing Motorola gestures are still present here because they are very useful and I love them. This device even has Ready For. If you don't know what Ready For is, it's a feature that allows this device to run in a windowed mode with an external display. So if you connect a wireless keyboard and a wireless mouse to it, you could somehow use this cell phone as a computer format. Although obviously it's still Android applications, but it can actually give you a lot more productivity by having more screen space. The Dimensity 7020 processor it has is excellent, both for applications and games. This is something that may surprise many because usually in games, MediaTek processors did not used to stand out much. But taking into account the price and taking into account its competitors, the experience was too good in games and applications. We had no problems, very good stability, it doesn't get too hot. So I really liked it on this as well. It has 256 gigabytes of storage and you can put a micro SD up to a terabyte. Again, it's something that's not usually common within the range. Usually 128 gigabyte devices come, but this one has double the storage. So up to this point, the truth is that I consider this device to be one of the most recommendable to buy this year. But not everything I liked. Let me tell you what I didn't. It doesn't have Gorilla Glass. Obviously, it is expected to have a considerably resistant glass, but it would give us much more confidence to know that it has Gorilla Glass 5 or something like that. So in this aspect, let's say it could become fragile, although we don't have concrete data to confirm this. The best thing to do would be to stick a tempered glass mica to protect the screen. The selfies do not have so much detail. This is because it generally merges the pixels, and even without merging, you don't feel as much detail as you would expect from this resolution. But I say it's getting a little picky because really at this price point, you're not going to find many other devices with ultra-detailed selfies. The photo capture and burst could get to feel sluggish. So if you're the picky type that wants to capture the exact moment, it's not going to give you the expected response. But at this price point, I don't know if you're going to find another device that does give you a snappy response. You may need to invest more money. Despite having 50 megapixels, the zoom doesn't seem to take advantage of them. It looks a bit more stretched or pixelated, so it doesn't feel as high quality as one would expect considering it has a 50 megapixel sensor. There are other devices that handle these sensors better when it comes to digital zoom. When recording video, it does not allow us to switch between main and ultra-wide without stopping the recording. So if you started recording and suddenly you need more space, you need to stop recording and another clip will generate the video with the wider shot. I think Motorola could improve that with an update, although there aren't that many devices in the price range that do allow you to do that either. In fact, the ultra-wide camera can record a bit poorly in low-light conditions, so if you want to use this device to record mainly with the ultra-wide camera and you are not going to record outdoors, you better consider buying another one because the experience is not really going to be good in this aspect. It does not have always-on display. This despite having an OLED screen. So, in a way it is wasted because most devices that have this type of screens do offer us that feature to keep the clock or some other information even when the screen is turned off, let's say. The battery performed slightly below the average 5000 milliamp battery. As you know, I do a number of tests and this one was not average, it was below average. So the battery doesn't look like it's going to be spectacular, although I wouldn't consider it a complete disaster either. But you are going to find devices with better battery life in the price range. And finally, Motorola doesn't have an ecosystem. While they do have some other products like headphones or other accessories from the same brand, you're not really going to find that they coexist very well with each other or have easy connectivity or anything similar. In everything that has to do with ecosystem, they depend on Google. So if you wanted a very advanced multi-device experience with watch, headphones, and other things, you will not find it here. But if you already bought it, let me know your experience in the comments. Tell me what you think so far, if you think it was worth the money you spent for it, if you like the pictures, if you don't like them, if you dropped it, tell us if the glass survived well. Absolutely everything, so that in case other people are considering buying this device, they can also read your experience. For the moment, this has been all for this video. If you liked it, you know you can tell us and see you next time.